We can now cross to New York, where we're joined by Ian Rafovitz, history professor at Empire State College of the State University of New York. Hello, thank you very much for your time. Our correspondent there just saying then the Iran nuclear deal is in danger. And we heard from Trump earlier saying that with Mike Pompeo, he said, we have a very similar thought process. So did he pick them then essentially because they get along and they agree on Iran and on North Korea?
I think that's accurate, certainly. One other arena is the Paris climate change deal, where Rex Tillerson had expressed some support for it, lobbied within the administration to keep the United States in that pact. And the president obviously had a different take on it and has pulled the United States out of the pact. On Iran, we know what Mike Pompeo thinks. He wrote an op-ed in September 2016 for Foreign Policy, the prestigious journal, in which he slammed the Iran deal and criticized the Obama administration heavily for enacting it, making it very clear that he doesn't think it's a workable agreement. That was published only about 6 weeks before the presidential election that put Donald Trump in the White House.
But is changing America's top diplomat at a time like this, when we might see talks between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, is that really such a good idea to shake the team up now?
Well, if we ask ourselves how many times we've wondered whether something Donald Trump has done is a good idea, I think it would be a pretty long list. At the end of the day, you can certainly say that Rex Tillerson had some problems in management at the State Department, but those are things that could have been fixed, and certainly without changing the person in charge of the State Department. Donald Trump is essentially his own foreign policy strategist, just as he's his own communications strategist. I'm sure he thinks it's a good idea. Whether or not it makes sense to, get rid of the Secretary of State, I think it's more important that the United States just lost its top North Korea expert right before the announcement that there was going to be this summit. The United States also doesn't have an ambassador to South Korea. So I'm not sure that Mike Pompeo versus Rex Tillerson is going to make that much difference if you don't have the experts advising the advisors who are going to talk to Trump. In the end, Trump is going to do what he wants. And that's really, I think, what we've seen from this president.
That's the thing. You mentioned the lack of an ambassador, and earlier our correspondent was saying the State Department basically has far fewer personnel now. So what are America's allies going to make of all of this?
Look, I think they're going to be skeptical. I think they're going to be concerned. Are they going to be that much more concerned than they were yesterday, given what the Trump administration has done over the first 18 months? I'm not so sure. At some point, if the concern level is already at 10, I guess it could go to 11. There's a movie quote along those lines. But look, I think they're already as concerned as they're going to be, and I think they're right to be concerned. Everyone hopes that negotiations between the United States and North Korea go well for the cause of peace. We won't know until they take place.
Now, Rex Tillerson didn't have any experience in government. What about Mike Pompeo? He doesn't exactly bring a lot more experience to the job, does he?
Well, he has the experience he's gained as the head of the CIA. We can say that he was a congressman. So whether Tillerson, 18 months into the job, has gained enough experience to say that he's more qualified for the job than Pompeo. Look, Pompeo has been reviewing the intelligence that the United States has been seeing. So there's some hope that he and I would say that he did stand by the assessments of the other intelligence chiefs who said that Russia did seek to interfere with the 2016 election. And so perhaps he can help speak some truth to Trump on that in private. Tillerson clearly was not up for the job, I think, at the end of the day. His positions were more moderate than Trump's and more moderate than Pompeo on things like Iran and on climate change and on North Korea, where he had been pushing for diplomacy when Trump was really pushing for a military solution early on. Maybe he even influenced Trump a little bit on North Korea. If Pompeo simply goes in there and echoes Trump's hardline positions, then the value that Tillerson did bring to the job will be lost because Pompeo will really not be in a position to challenge or not be willing to challenge Trump. Did Trump ever listen to Tillerson? I'm not so sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed for your time and your analysis. Ian Rafovitz joining us there from New York.